Right now at 9:30, the former deputy chief fired by the City of Sedona is speaking about issues within the department for the first time. This is Ryan Kwitkin. He raised concerns over Sedona's top cop, Stephanie Foley, earlier this year, accusing her of creating a hostile work environment.
The chief was cleared, and then Kwitkin was investigated for misconduct. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum reports on the latest legal action.
Ryan Kwitkin is now suing the City of Sedona and its top officials, including the police chief. His lawyer says his rights were violated and he was only fired after questioning his boss's policies and speaking up about it. Former Sedona Police Deputy Chief Ryan Kwitkin is talking about what happened at Sedona PD, where 10 out of 13 allegations, including aggressive behavior, abuse of authority, and harassment, were sustained in an investigation into his conduct.
There is some truth to it, but a lot of the allegations were spun to put me in a negative light.
But a civil complaint filed against Sedona in early November says the city orchestrated efforts to cover up concerns raised about the chief for violating Arizona law. Back in March, Kwitkin and 2 other employees initially filed complaints to HR against Chief Stephanie Foley.
My reputation has been damaged. It's severely damaged. I tried to do the right thing and help the residents of the City of Sedona and bring concerns to the chief about very outdated styles of policing that are just not consistent with best police practices in the 21st century. And every time that I would bring these up to the chief, I was met with negative reactions.
Kwitkin was placed on administrative leave during his internal investigation. But prior to that, when a third party was hired by the city to investigate Chief Foley for allegedly creating a hostile workplace, she was allowed to continue working. Ultimately, she was cleared of all 8 allegations. Troy Foster, Kwitkin's attorney, isn't surprised.
She was positioned in a place where anybody who had concerns about her, she could see who they were and where they were coming from. So I think that probably people didn't come forward. I know, in fact, that people who had concerns didn't come forward.
Kwitkin also raised concerns about department policy, specifically the ability for volunteer officers to transport apprehended suspects to jail.
I just couldn't fathom that we were taking someone's constitutionally protected rights after they've been arrested and then turning them over to unarmed civilians, transporting them over an hour to the county jail, driving a police car. And when I would discuss this with the chief, every time it was met with hostility.
A spokesperson for the city says Sedona police civilian officers transport arrestees depending on the risk or threat assessment. Kwitkin says sworn officers can also fire warning shots.
In today's day and age, police policies should specifically ban the use of warning shots. Sedona Police Department policy allows warning shots.
In response, the city spokesperson says generally it's discouraged to fire warning shots for the purpose of getting aid and may not be discharged unless the officer reasonably believes that it's necessary, effective, and safe. Kwitkin also says back in January, a suspect in custody was able to unlock a jail cell door due to an officer leaving a key in the lock, allowing the prisoner to access the booking area. Also named in the lawsuit, former city manager Karen Osborne, current city manager Annette Spickard, and human resources manager Russ Martin. Court docs say Osborne kept Foley in her role during the first investigation, allowing her to supervise the people who filed complaints against her. The complaint says Spickard and Martin also did not do enough when concerns were brought. Per Kwitkin, other alleged issues with Foley include belittling behavior and directing subordinates to record colleagues.
When you're trying to foster in a trusting police culture, you don't surreptitiously record your own officers. There were 3 separate times the chief ordered me to record officers. And when I said to her, Chief, I'm not going to say anything that I need to be concerned with where I need to record it. Her answer was, well, you don't know these officers, and I've had problems with them in the past, and you need to record them.
Kwitkin claims the defendants violated his First and 14th Amendments in the Arizona Employment Protection Act, citing retaliation. In your eyes, are they doubling down and trying to cover this up?
I think that they were, but I think it's hard to do that when you have documents and recordings that we have that really shed a light on the truth.
The City of Sedona is aware of the complaint but has no further comment. Expect defendants to file a response in court at some point. Kwitkin doesn't regret speaking up about what he calls major issues.
I really feel that by standing up and doing the right thing, it will ultimately make things better for the city.
Kwitkin is demanding a jury trial requesting back pay, reinstatement, compensatory, and punitive damages. I'm Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum.